The Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, is a nation scarred by conflict. For decades, this resource-rich country in Central Africa has been plagued by violence, instability, and humanitarian crises. The eastern provinces, in particular, have become a battleground for numerous armed groups, each vying for control of land, resources, and power. This ongoing conflict has resulted in widespread displacement, human rights abuses, and a humanitarian catastrophe of immense proportions. The DRC's vast mineral wealth, including valuable resources such as gold, diamonds, and coltan, has tragically fueled the conflict. Armed groups, often with links to neighboring countries, exploit these resources to finance their operations, perpetuating a cycle of violence and instability. The international community has long grappled with the challenge of addressing the root causes of the conflict and finding a lasting solution to the crisis in the DRC. The recent resurgence of the M23 rebel group, notorious for its brutality and human rights violations, has further exacerbated the situation in eastern DRC. The M23's control over key mining areas has not only intensified the humanitarian crisis, but also raised concerns about the global trade in conflict minerals. The international community faces an urgent call to action to address this escalating crisis, protect civilians, and work towards a peaceful and sustainable future for the DRC. The M23, or Movement of March 23, is an armed rebel group operating in the eastern provinces of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Formed in 2012, the group is composed primarily of former members of the National Congress for the Defense of the People, another rebel group that was integrated into the Congolese army in 2009. The M23's resurgence in recent years has posed a significant threat to the fragile stability of eastern DRC and plunged the region into a renewed cycle of violence and displacement. The M23's primary objective is to overthrow the Congolese government and seize control of the country's vast mineral wealth. The group has been accused of grave human rights abuses, including summary executions, forced recruitment, sexual violence, and the displacement of thousands of civilians. The M23's control over key mining areas has allowed it to profit from the illicit trade in conflict minerals, further fueling the conflict and undermining efforts to achieve peace and stability in the region. The M23's resurgence has been met with widespread condemnation from the international community. The United Nations, regional organizations, and various governments have called for an immediate end to the violence and urged the M23 to lay down its arms and engage in peaceful dialogue. However, despite these calls for peace, the M23 continues to pose a significant threat to the stability of eastern DRC, highlighting the urgent need for a comprehensive and coordinated international response to address the root causes of the conflict and bring an end to the suffering of the Congolese people. The ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo has had a devastating impact on the lives of millions of Congolese people. The violence has forced countless families to flee their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded and undersupplied displacement camps or in neighboring countries. The United Nations estimates that over 5 million people are currently internally displaced within the DRC, making it the African country with the highest number of internally displaced persons. The humanitarian crisis in eastern DRC is characterized by widespread food insecurity, lack of access to clean water and sanitation, and limited access to healthcare. The ongoing conflict has disrupted agricultural production, leading to widespread malnutrition, particularly among children. The fragile healthcare system, already strained by years of conflict, is ill-equipped to cope with the growing needs of the displaced population. The conflict has also had a devastating impact on education. Schools have been destroyed or forced to close, depriving countless children of their right to education. The psychological trauma caused by witnessing violence, losing loved ones, and being forced to flee their homes has long-lasting effects on the mental health and well-being of children and adults alike. The ongoing conflict in the DRC represents a profound human tragedy, with devastating consequences for the present and future generations of Congolese people. The Democratic Republic of Congo is rich in natural resources, especially minerals like cobalt, coltan, and gold. However, these resources have also fueled conflict and violence. Armed groups often exploit these minerals to fund their activities, leading to severe human rights abuses and prolonged instability. The global demand for these minerals, particularly in the tech industry, means that the consequences of this conflict stretch far beyond the borders of Congo. It is crucial to understand the impact of our consumption and consider more ethical sourcing practices. By doing so, we can help reduce the suffering and support sustainable development in the region. The people of the Democratic Republic of Congo have endured unimaginable hardships. They call out for peace, for stability, and for the support of the global community. It's a plea that resonates deeply, urging us all to listen and to act with compassion. The conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo is incredibly complex, involving numerous factions and deep-rooted issues. Navigating this intricate web requires understanding, patience, and a commitment to finding sustainable solutions. It is a challenge that demands our collective effort. Without meaningful intervention, the potential for further devastation looms large. The consequences of inaction are dire, threatening to plunge the region into even greater turmoil. It's a stark reminder of the urgency with which we must address this crisis. Breaking the cycle of violence is no easy task, but it is essential for the future of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It requires not only addressing immediate needs, but also tackling the root causes of conflict. Together, we can support initiatives that pave the way for lasting peace and prosperity.